One weapon killed more soldiers than any other in history, but here's the twist. It's not the one you think. From secret Nazi labs to North Korean bunkers, from Vietnam jungles to Ukrainian trenches, over 50 nations fought a silent war, not with bullets, but with blueprints. This is the story of the guns that changed warfare forever, and some of them you've never even heard of. When you think assault rifle, two names come to mind, the AK-47 and the M16. But that's just chapter 3 of a story that started in 1915. Before the term assault rifle even existed, military engineers were secretly racing to build the perfect killing machine. What they created wasn't just weapons. It was a revolution that armed over 100 countries and sparked conflicts that rage to this very day. Today we're diving into the complete, uncensored history of the select fire revolution, the forgotten prototypes, the failures, the masterpieces, and the bizarre experiments that most historians won't tell you about. Let's load up. Before the legend, there were the forgotten ancestors, the weapons that started it all. Italy, 1900, decades before Hitler's armies shocked the world. An Italian officer named Abrego C. Rigotti built something revolutionary, a gas-operated rifle that could fire fully automatic. It jammed constantly and overheated like a radiator, but technically this was the grandfather of every weapon on this list. Russia, 1915. Vladimir Fedorov realized something nobody else understood. Full rifles were uncontrollable on full auto. His solution was the Fedorov Automat, a select-fire weapon using a weaker Japanese cartridge. It was clumsy and heavy, but it lit the spark for Soviet weapon design that would eventually arm half the planet. In the mud of World War I, American aviators took hunting rifles and modified them for full-auto mayhem. The Winchester Model 1907 wasn't pretty, but it brought rapid firepower to the trenches of Europe. France had it first though. The Ribeirolles 1918 fired an intermediate cartridge and met every definition of a true assault rifle, 30 years before the Germans invented it. But when WWI ended, France forgot the lesson and went back to slow, bolt-action rifles. That mistake would cost them dearly in 1940. Then came World War II and the birth of the revolution. Germany, 1942. Two companies competed in secret, Henkel and Walther. Both submitted designs to Hitler's regime for a revolutionary new weapon class. Henkel won, and their creation would change history. The STG-44. This is the weapon that gave the entire class its name, Sturmgewehr, meaning storm rifle. Firing the 7.92 by 33mm Kurz round, it offered machine gun firepower with rifle precision. It came too late to save Nazi Germany, but when Soviet and American engineers captured these rifles, they knew instantly the future had arrived. As Germany collapsed, engineers frantically designed cheaper versions. The SDG-45M used revolutionary roller delay, blowback and stamped steel, proving that assault rifles didn't need to be precision machines. Meanwhile, the Volkssturmgewehr was literally welded together from scrap Sten gun parts in bombed-out factories. The Soviet response came from Alexei Sudaev and his AS-44. It was reliable but heavy as a light machine gun. When Sudaev died young, the door opened for a young tank mechanic named Mikhail Kalashnikov to step through. Kalashnikov's masterpiece, the AK-47, wasn't the most accurate rifle ever built, but it was the most reliable machine ever created by human hands. Loose tolerances meant it could survive mud, sand, snow, and total neglect. You could bury it for a decade, dig it up, and it would still fire. The modernized AKM made it lighter and cheaper using stamped steel. This is the version you actually see in movies and war footage. China cloned it as the Type 56. Czechoslovakia built their own version, the VZ.58, that looked identical but was completely different inside, proving Czech engineers refused to just copy homework. The American answer was the M16. Eugene Stoner built a rifle from aluminum and plastic that looked like it came from outer space. The M16 fired a tiny high-velocity 5.56mm bullet. Early versions jammed horrifically in Vietnam due to bad ammo and lack of cleaning kits, giving it a deadly reputation. But the design evolved into the most precise military rifle in history. The Soviets studied, captured M16s, and developed their response. The AK-74, firing the 5.45 by 39mm cartridge. Here's the terrifying part. The bullet had a hollow air pocket in the tip that caused it to tumble violently inside the target, creating devastating wounds. It was nicknamed the poison bullet by Afghan fighters. The AK-47, he chopped down 2 submachine gun size, became the weapon of choice for Soviet special forces and later criminals worldwide. Loud, flashy, and terrifying at close range. By the 1990s, every country wanted their own indigenous rifle. It wasn't just about firepower, it was about national pride and independence. Israel's Tavore, a bullpup designed for urban combat, balanced perfectly for clearing buildings one-handed while opening doors. South Korea's K2, a brilliant fusion of AK reliability and M16 precision. China's QBZ-95, a polymer bullpup firing their unique 5.8mm cartridge, breaking free from Soviet AK dependence. Then they reversed course with the QBZ-191, proving even China admits traditional layouts work better. Singapore's SA-21 featured a built-in laser and a Kevlar face shield in case the chamber exploded. Thus planning ahead. Iran's Khyber, a bullpup conversion of captured M16s, showing that even under sanctions Iranian engineers could innovate. Croatia's VHS-2, a modern bullpup that fixed every flaw of the French FAMAS, fully ambidextrous with an adjustable stock, rare for bullpups. It looks like a sci-fi. The German engineers struck back. Heckler & Koch built the HK-416 by taking the M4 and installing a gas piston system. It ran cleaner and cooler. This is the rifle that Navy SEALs used to kill Osama bin Laden. The G36 was made almost entirely of polymer, lightweight, and futuristic, until scandals erupted about melting trunnions in desert heat. Then came the rifles that never were. Germany's G11, the most famous rifle that never happened. It fired caseless ammunition, blocks of propellant with no brass shell. Inside it had clock with low complexity. It worked perfectly in tests, but reunification killed the program. Merikos XM8, based on the G36, looked like a prop from a sci-fi movie. It almost replaced the M16 in the mid-2000s, but was cancelled due to Pentagon bureaucracy and lobbying. The OICW experiments combined rifles with smart grenade launchers and computers. They were too heavy, too expensive, and arrived before the technology was ready. But then, 2024 arrived, and the new standard came with it. After years of testing, the US military made a radical decision: abandon the 5.56mm cartridge that dominated for 60 years. The XM7 SIG Spear won the next generation squad weapon program. It fires a massive 6.8 by 51mm cartridge using high-pressure technology to punch through modern body armor at long range. The age of the AR-15 is ending. A new era has begun, but it almost went to 2 radical competitors: the RM-277 bullpup with plastic-cased ammo, and Textron's experimental cased telescoped design, where the bullet was buried inside the gunpowder block itself. From Italian workshops in 1900 to American firing ranges in 2024, the assault rifle has been refined, copied, and revolutionized by over 50 nations. Some designs became legends, arming millions. Others were forgotten prototypes gathering dust in museums. But every single one of these weapons changed the course of history. They decided wars, toppled governments, and armed revolutions. The question isn't which one was the best, it's which one shaped your world the most. The select fire revolution isn't over. Right now, in labs from Seoul to Tel Aviv to Beijing, engineers are designing the next generation, and when it arrives, it'll make everything we just talked about look like antiques. The war for the perfect rifle never ends.